But with that, let's get going into Game 3.
Link engaged.
Alright, welcome to Game 3. This is the TeamSpeak Team Liquid StarCraft 2 Open number 7 on the North American server. We are going to see mouzMorroW here on the Team Mouse Sports here, morphing in at the 6 o'clock position on Lost Temple as our blue Zerg. And at the 3 o'clock base, we see Drewbie on the Team Root as dropping in as our red Terran. So, you know, as opposed to what we saw in the last map, where they had close air spawns and long ground spawns, they now have very close rush distances by ground, but much farther by air. So kind of the opposite situation right now. But yet again, due to the map layout, they do have that one Xel'Naga tower that's right in the middle of the map. And I think that's, you know, that really makes a difference in a lot of games. If you know, for example, in last game, if Drewbie had an SCV or Marine at that Xel'Naga watchtower and seen all those Zerglings streaming out of mouzMorrow's base, even only the first wave that was coming, you know, that would kill the unit at the Xel'Naga tower, he would have known that much was coming and probably built some more bunkers, try to build some more units, do something to defend, as opposed to teching up so quickly and having almost no defense. There goes the barracks now for Drewbie. So it looks like, you know, could be a very similar build to what we saw last game, in that you know, that placement of that barrack suggests we're not going to see any type of add-on getting added anytime soon. Oh, actually, we do have gas getting added now for Drewbie, so definitely not going to be seeing that strategy from last game. But probably, you know, of course, not going to be seeing any type of tech lab or reactor on this barracks. Probably going to be using that gas to go for a quicker factory, get those Hellions out pretty early to go for some pretty quick harass. mouzMorroW, of course, just doing the same exact build he's been doing. Hatchery first, into gas and spawning pool. So he's definitely feeling very confident with the hatchery first in this matchup, as a lot of Zergs are after the you know, supply depot before barracks change. But I mean, that 2-rack build, he doesn't really have to worry about at this point. So you can see that gas, but it can be devastating against a hatch first build. So you know, it is a bit of a risk to take. Perhaps going to see a gas steal here. We do see a gas steal going down for mouzMorroW. These can be really difficult to deal with in the early game because you can continuously cancel the gas and rebuild it. It only costs you something like 7 minerals each time. So you can, whenever your gas is about to finish and it's been taken down in health from the Marine, you just cancel it and rebuild it immediately. And then it's got full health again. And then it looks like he's going to do just that. Very annoying and difficult to deal with. You simply cannot get the gas until you have enough units to kill an extractor faster than it can build. Unless you have extremely fast reaction times to place down a refinery basically instantly. So mouzMorroW saw that early. Oh, it looks like he's going to not try to build it again. He knows his opponent's going to have another Marine soon, and it will be able to kill it. But that delayed gas is going to affect, it's going to affect what kinds of builds Drewbie is, what kind of builds he can possibly do. You know, he can't go for that type of really quick Banshee, any kind of builds like that, you know, off of only one gas. So that what that gas steal did for mouzMorroW is it gave him a little bit of a safety net, where he doesn't have to worry about certain strategies, at least for certain timings. He can build himself up more of an economy, and then start trying to build up defense against possible things like Banshees. But instead, we do, of course, have that armory about a third of the way done. So we are going to be seeing Thors from Drewbie at this point. And he, of course, is going to be dropping that Thor right at that spot to be able to kill that hatchery. This is so common on Lost Temple in Zerg versus Terran, and it's so difficult for Zergs to deal with. It's very rare you see a game where the Zerg has the stun to them and they actually successfully hold it off, since the Thor can hit that hatchery from that high ramp. And of course, that starport is getting down to drop the. He does need a medevac to pull off this strategy. But it definitely looks 100% like this is the strategy he's going for. He has that tech lab ready. He's going to start making that Thor, then he's going to get that medevac, and just start dropping them on that cliff. And the only thing he's really got to be careful about is a counterattack, because that's really the weakness to this build, is that it leaves you a little bit open for counterattack, because you're spending a lot of money on teching up to a Thor and getting the Thor, and then on the medevac as well. So you don't generally have that many units left to defend, so a counterattack can often be deadly. However, he is walled off, so without anything like a Baneling bust, we probably won't be seeing anything like that from mouzMorroW. And mouzMorroW, in fact, has just been droning up this entire time. Still only has those 4 or 5 Zerglings. There is a Baneling nest, however, being started right now, along with the lair. But he's just still continuing to drone right now. We can see in this production tab, he's just continuing to build drones constantly. I mean, I don't know when he'll stop building these drones, but he's got to do it soon if he's going to be able to deal with this Thor. He needs something other than just Zerglings and Banelings, of course, to deal with it if he doesn't get any kind of ranged units. Yeah, I don't know how he'll be able to defend against this. Here comes the Thor hanging out of that medevac. It's like Transformers style, folded up in there. Gonna drop down and just wreak havoc. This is gonna be really scary for mouzMorroW in this situation. Excuse me. A little bit of a missed micro on this Thor. He's just kind of letting it sit there, taking a lot of damage. He could just move it out of range to attack, but he is going to be bringing SCVs to help repair it, so it should not be a big deal. There come the 4 SCVs, are going to be repairing it, doing a lot of damage to this hatchery right now, and there's not much more can do about it. He is building a spire, but it's only halfway done at this point, so it's going to be a while before he's able to get Mulus out. This natural is absolutely 100% going to die, and it's going to be 1 base versus 1 base. It looks like mouzMorroW has sent out a drone. He's going to try to take that 9 o'clock base. He knows he can't just let it get down to 1 base versus 1 base. He's gotta get himself more larvae in some way. He doesn't want to just build it at his main. He can get contained so easily by the Terran. So smart move putting it there at the 9 o'clock base. But this Thor is just still wreaking havoc. The Spire's about to finish. Looks like Zerg does not have saved up money though to build a whole bunch of Mutalisks. He only has, he's been using his money constantly, so he's only going to be able to build 1 Mutalisk at a time. Not going to be able to simply overpower this Thor, but I mean the Thor did its job. It killed that natural. The only problem here is that Drewbie did not expand during all of this. Not even some kind of cheeky expand to the island with his medevac. So now it's still just 1 base versus 1 base, whereas mouzMorroW has already started his expansion, and Drewbie still has not started an expansion. So he's just going to be falling behind here. Now he's getting Siege Tech and Stim just finished, I believe, all off of 1 base. So he's going to be getting tanks, Marines with Stim. He's going to have that Thor, and it looks like he's just going to be going for this type of all-in push off of this 1 base play. Here it comes. I'm surprised, to be honest, he's not just bringing every single one of his SCVs to repair Thors and tanks, because at this point, off of 1 base still, this is such an all-in attack that you might as well bring those SCVs to repair. It can affect how that battle's going to work out. So carelessly losing those Mutalisks, mouzMorroW really needs to pay attention to those units right there. I mean, every unit matters in this type of game. And now he's losing all of his drones and revealing which base his opponent's at. But he does come in with a surround with the Zerglings. The Marines were out of position, but it doesn't matter. The Thor is getting repaired too quickly. Mutalisks could not do enough damage to his Zerglings, could not do enough damage. So mouzMorroW in a really bad position right now. He lost a ton of drones, a ton of attacking units, and his opponent knows where that expansion is. Really, going to be really difficult for him to come back from this type of disadvantage. Apologize about that. Now we see Drewbie moving up. He needs to siege these tanks. He does not siege them. He's just kind of leaving them out of siege mode, but this Thor in the back doing quite a lot of damage. All the Marines are dying, however. These tanks are on the cliffs, though, so that the Zerglings can't surround them. It looks like, I mean, this was so close, but Drewbie's going to come out slightly, behind here. He is going to lose this Thor, or he's going to pick it up in the medevac. Could lose the medevac to the Mutalisks. Oh, dropping it down again while the Zerglings were not there. Excellent play by Drewbie. Catching his opponent off guard. mouzMorroW really just kind of falling apart on micro in this game, but still holding it together, which is really amazing in the situation. That was such a strong push from Drewbie that the fact that he's still alive at all right now is really phenomenal. And the fact, he's got those other 2 bases up, and Drewbie elected to attack right up into mouzMorrow's main instead of attacking those expansions. So now those expansions are free to drone up as they will, and mouzMorroW, is going to just really come back, I think, and take the lead in this game. He's just now going to be so far, so economically ahead once he gets drones up in those bases. He's already got about a 300 mineral per minute advantage at this point. Drewbie just starting his natural right now. His main must be almost mined out by this point, I would assume. Oh, sorry, not starting, landing. Landing one that has already been finished. Immediately starting double gas at his natural. But, I mean, now it's going to be 3 base versus 2 base. Morrow could probably pretty easily take his natural again as well. Still no drones at that base, though. I'm really surprised he hasn't sent some over, at least from the 9 o'clock main there. But here comes an attack from Morrow, trying to flank behind with these Zerglings. Doesn't look like he has a big enough army, though. I'm really surprised his attack right now. Pretty much losing all his Mutalisks, all his Zerglings. I think that was a huge blunder to attack right there. Just lost his entire army, and it's 3 base versus 2 base. Whenever you have an economic advantage, you basically just want to sit back and macro until your opponent tries to take an expansion of his own to even it out. So, I mean, attacking when you're still trying to drone up and, get these 3 bases actually running and giving you an economic advantage, really big mistake there, and he lost a lot of units. Granted, he's trying to dwindle down his opponent's army. Here comes for this attack. He's just trying to dwindle down the army while he continuously reproduces units faster than Terran possibly can. Marines are just doing so much damage, though, and these SCVs are just continuously repairing these Thors that Morrow is forced to call the GG and leave the game. I really think with the number of Zerglings we saw created there in that right at that last attack that happened at the 9 o'clock base, if he had not sacrificed the Mutalisks and Zerglings in the middle of the map right before that, and instead had taken all those Zerglings that he just produced, combined them with that army and attacked, I think that would have been way more effective than attacking with half your army and then, sorry, I'm not speaking to the microphone, attacking with half your army and then just attacking with the other half once that half died. So I think that was a pretty big blunder by him. But yet again, another game that we saw that was just really back and forth. Morrow had the lead 2 base versus 1 base, and then Drewbie took it back over with that Thor on the natural, and then Morrow seemed to have the lead with that 3 base versus 2 base, but then he kind of threw away with that army movement. So it is going to be 2-1 in Drewbie's favor at this point in the game.